Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. This is Osama Sayyid from islamafterahmadiyya.com. This is episode 4 of our Bites of Truth series. This video is it's called More Future Mahdis and the Waste Paper Ahadith. As many listeners know, there are plenty of ahadith regarding the Mahdi and the return of Prophet Jesus. These ahadith, this video is not targeted at discussing those ahadith and discussing the validity of them and trying to give an explanation of them. No, not at all. This video is just showing Mirza Ghulam's writings regarding the coming of the Mahdi. And obviously, as I said in the title, he refers to some or many hadith as waste paper, and obviously I will give the references for those as I go along. Of course, most listeners would know that the hadith state that the Mahdi will come from the lineage of Sayyidah Fatima Zahra. There are many other descriptions as well, but this is the relevance of this point regarding the lineage. The Mahdi will come from the lineage of Sayyidah Fatima will be very clear when I read what I have to read to you now. So the first reference that I'm going to read from is from Ruhani Khaza'in Volume 3, and it's called Izalat Awham Part 2, and the page is 379. Now this is written in Urdu. The translation I'm going to read now in English, and I'll begin. There may have been some Mahdis before, and it is possible that they may come in future. It is possible that some Mahdi of the name Imam Muhammad may appear. That's the end of the quote, the translation there. Now this is Mirza Ghulam Ahmad in his third volume of Ruhani Khaza'in saying something that should shock Ahmadis who've never heard of this before. You should actually be shocked by this and want to ask more questions you want to inquire as to why your Prophet, who claims he is the Mahdi and he is the Masih Ma'ud and he is Muhammad and all these other things that he says, how come he said in his books that there may have been many Mahdis in the past and that many in the future may come? How can that be possible if he is that Mahdi that he claims to be that Mahdi of that all these ahadith have been talking about? He is claiming to be that Mahdi that the Muslims have been waiting for. Well, the Muslims have been waiting for the Mahdi that is according to the ahadith. And the ahadith never mention that there have been many Mahdis or there will be many Mahdis. It's just one Mahdi, and obviously the return of Jesus Christ. This is what the ahadith say, and this is why that's the main problem that Ahmadiyya sought to address by explaining to people that Jesus is not returning and he's dead, and Mirza Ghulam is that Jesus. He is that Masih. And obviously we know that Mirza Ghulam claimed to be a Mahdi as well, but here in this quote here, he says that may have been many before and it may be possible that more will come in the future. Now, I think I've explained that sufficiently for the listeners to ponder on this point. How can your Mahdi say that there have been many in the past and there may be many in the future? Where are they? And where did he bring this information from? Which hadith did he bring this information from? And yet afterwards we find out that he's claiming to be just one Mahdi and there is no one after him. Next reference is it's from Ruhani Khaza'in Volume 21. The book is called Zamima Barahin Ahmadiyya Part 5, page 356. This is where Mirza Ghulam Ahmad claims that he is not the Mahdi, which is from the progeny or the lineage of Hadrat Sayyidah Fatima Zahra radhiyallahu anha. So I'll start with the translation now. And Mirza says, my claim is not that I am that Mahdi who is min wald Fatima wa min atrati, but my claim is that of Masih Maw'ud. And regarding Masih Maw'ud, no muhaddith has stated that he will be from Bani Fatima. Yes, with this, just like all the muhaddithin have said, I also say that all the hadith regarding Mahdi Ma'ud are majruh and makhdush, and none of them are sahih. None of them are sahih. And in contrast to the hadith, this hadith is very sahih, which has been written by Ibn Majah. And that hadith is La Mahdi illa Isa. Yani, meaning, there is no Mahdi but Jesus. So both, that's the end of the translation. Many listeners who have heard this before will understand that from this hadith, Mirza Ghulam is saying that he and the Mahdi are one. He's taking this hadith from Ibn Majah to say that he and the Mahdi are one character. First thing I have to start with is that this hadith, at best, it's a da'if hadith, a weak hadith. At worst, it's mawdu', which is fabricated, false, lie, made up. So at best, it's weak. At worst, it's fabricated. That Jesus and Mahdi are one personality, one person, one character, one person. But Mirza Ghulam says that this hadith is sahih, very sahih. Mirza Ghulam says this hadith is very sahih, when all the scholars say that it's either weak, da'if, or fabricated, mawdu'. But Mirza Ghulam says it's very sound, very sahih, very sound. Surprise, surprise, because this is the one hadith that he uses to prove his claim that he is both Jesus and the Mahdi in one. And prior to this portion of the translation that I just read out, we just return to the point where Mirza says that he is not from Wald Fatima. He's not from the lineage of Fatima radiallahu anha, Sayyidah Fatima radiallahu anha. He says that he is, and he says no muhaddith has stated that the Masih Ma'ud will be from Bani Fatima. Do you see, dear listeners, I hope you are understanding and seeing the play on words. He's just playing with words right now on titles. He's playing with titles. Mirza Ghulam here is playing with titles. What does he do? How does he play? He says, oh, I'm Masih Ma'ud. I'm not saying I'm Mahdi, I'm saying I'm Masih Ma'ud. And no hadith mentions that the Masih Ma'ud has to be from the lineage of Fatima, Sayyidah Fatima radiallahu anha. Do you see what he's doing, listeners? He's playing with titles. We all know that Mirza Ghulam claimed to be the Mahdi, and he claimed to be Jesus, the Masih, and he claimed to be many other prophets as well. But let's just talk about Jesus and the Mahdi. Mirza Ghulam claimed to be the Mahdi and Jesus. But just in this, it's such a pathetic attempt at like trying to get away or win an argument by trying to say, oh, hold on a second, the hadith is talking about the Mahdi being from the lineage of Fatima, but I'm Masih Ma'ud. And the hadith doesn't say anything about Masih Ma'ud being from the lineage of Fatima. So therefore you guys are wrong. But hold on, Mr. Mirza Ghulam, you are claiming to be the Mahdi. So therefore, if you are claiming to be the Mahdi, then you are supposed to go according to the hadith, which the hadith says you'll be from the lineage of Fatima. So if you are not from the lineage of Fatima, Mr. Mirza Ghulam, then Mr. Mirza Ghulam, you are not the Mahdi. I hope the listeners, I hope you're with me, you're following, I'm connecting the dots for you. They're not very difficult to see, but I'm trying to connect it for you because it's not your fault, dear listener, and it's not my fault, my fault or your fault, that Mirza Ghulam has decided to write so many of his things in his books in such a snaky way. It's like a big bowl of spaghetti. Nothing is straight. He doesn't say anything straight. Everything's in roundabout circles, all intertwined, so that the listener, the readers, will be very confused. They'll be very confused. They're like, what is this guy trying to say? So as I've said, he claims to be the Mahdi, as we know, but in this quote, he says, no, I'm Masih Ma'ud. And no hadith regarding Masih Ma'ud says that the Masih Ma'ud is meant to be from the lineage of Fatima radiallahu anha. So this is one of his ways of trying to evade it, but he also traps himself, because then he shows the Muslims that he is just a self-made Mahdi and Masih who's just coming without fulfilling all these hadith, or even some of them even. He's just claiming, he's making his own claim without proof from hadith. This is a central point here. How do you convince Muslims that Mirza Ghulam is the Mahdi, when he himself is telling you, I'm not coming according to what the hadith say. And then he comes to you and says that the hadith La Mahdi al-Isa is a very sound one, which all the scholars all say that it's either weak or fabricated. And of course, there's an additional point that Mirza Ghulam, he tries to, many times in many areas, he tries to cover himself when he says, I had a dream about something. So he said he had a dream that he is from the progeny of Fatima radiallahu anha. He has a dream. Again, this is one of his ways of lying to back himself up or to get out of a corner, because he cornered himself. He doesn't got enough evidence. So he said, I had a dream. The dream quickly supports me and it's from God, so you can't argue with God, so be quiet. I had a dream that I am from the progeny of Fatima. This is one of Mirza Ghulam's ways of getting out of this argument. And if you have been following most of our other videos, and indeed a lot of other people who say the truth and they quote real evidence from Mirza Ghulam's books, on other websites and forums, because some people misquote, but most of them are honest. If you've been following that, you will see that Mirza Ghulam has come out and he corners himself by saying something, but then he comes out of it by saying, I've had a dream. And he tries to remove himself from that problem by just saying, I had a dream and it came from God, so don't argue with it. I'll move on now to my next point. This one is, as the title said, Mirza Ghulam, he discards hadith which do not conform to his wahi. And this reference is from Rahani Khaza'in, volume 19, and the book is called Ijaz Ahmadi Zamima Nazul al-Masih, page 140. And this is written in Urdu. I'm reading a translation into English, and I'll begin now. Maulvi Sana'ullah says, why did the thought of the prophecy of promised Messiah come into your heart? ? After all, the prophecy has been taken from hadith, when you do not accept the other signs of hadith. In answer to this, I swear by Allah that this claim of mine is not based on hadith, but it is based on the Quran and my wahi which has been revealed to me. And I follow on, it says, yes, we also present those hadith which are in accordance with the Holy Quran and which are not in contradiction with my wahi. And the other hadith we throw away or discard like waste paper. So I hope you can follow from what this was. This is Maulvi Sana'ullah. He asked this question. He said, why did the thought prophecy of promised Messiah come into your heart? After all, the prophecy has been taken from hadith, when you do not accept the other signs of hadith. So that was the question. Obviously Mirza Ghulam wrote it. So Mirza Ghulam, he quite disgracefully actually, he's taken upon himself to discard any hadith that does not conform to his wahi. So all those hadith that were in existence for about approximately 1200, 1300 years before Mirza Ghulam even was born, all those hadith that have been around for around 12 to 1300 years, he's come and said, no, I discard those ones that don't conform to my wahi. Throw them in the bin. They're waste paper. Discard them like waste. They're useless. Now, what's the point of these ahadith? What is the point of these ahadith? If somebody is going to come and claim to be the Mahdi and come to be Jesus and not fulfill those ahadith, then what was the very point of those ahadith? What was the point? There is no point if the guy just comes and makes his own claim and makes his own signs and just tells you, God told me and God gave me a wahi and that's the end of the story, I am the Mahdi and accept me. Because that's what Mirza Ghulam has done here. This is the end of the quotes that I've wanted to present today in this short video. Inshallah, we will continue. There are many more episodes coming. I hope I've made it clear to everyone, all the listeners, what we're trying to say here. I hope I read the translation clearly. I hope everything's clear for you. Inshallah, please stay tuned for our next episodes of Bites of Truth. This is Osama Sayyid from Islam After Ahmadiyya. saying Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.